Everyone, welcome to SmartSuite Cataloging version 3. This is a YouTube live event and you're more than welcome to ask questions as we go along, and we'll make sure and do everything we can in our part to answer all your questions during the session. I only need your undivided attention for 30 minutes as we deal with just one aspect of SmartSuite version 3, and that's cataloging. We're going to be dealing in two aspects of cataloging. We start off with original cataloging. Okay, these are for items that don't necessarily exist on Schist and possibly never will exist on Schist. Okay, so it might be a poster, it might be a laptop, it might be a box of books, it could be a book, but Schist has not cataloged it yet. Okay, so original cataloging is part one of our cataloging. To get into cataloging, you need to be set up as an administrator or a librarian on your system. And the way you can check is once you're signed in, that is the sign in button. If it's saying sign out, that means you are already signed in. Okay, if it's saying sign in, you need to click it and put in your login credentials. And then you need to go to the menu button here. I'm going to call that a hamburger menu because it looks like a hamburger. So when you click on that, you'll have a whole bunch of options. And the options that we are particularly interested in during this session is cataloging. When you click on cataloging, you will have two options here that we are going to be concentrating on. The first one is original cataloging. All you need to do is you click on that and that will bring up the catalog screen. Whenever you go into the catalog screen, it is always going to bring up the very first record in your catalog. So if you started cataloging with us 10 years ago and Matthew Flinder's Cat was the first book you ever put onto the system, that's the record that's going to come up here. Okay, now let me explain the layout of the screen so you get to understand all the features and functions of this particular screen. Okay, so you've got the basic information up here. Okay, so it's the title, ISBN number, the mark number, the call number, the edition, and so forth and so on. And then at the bottom of the screen, you've got all your commands. So I can go and find a record. So if I click on find, what I want a book with cat in it. Okay, because I said, look, do an all field search of anything with cat, and there you go. All right. I could have said, no, I don't want to search. I want to search for a particular barcode. So if I selected barcode, then I can put in the barcode here. I can put in a call number. So you can search any field here, and that will tell you how you're going to search. So it's free text, and you just put in whatever you like here, and the records will come up here. Okay. If that's the book I want, you just click on the book, and up the record will come. If you go, that's not the book that I wanted, so just go back into your find and carry on and choose another book, and that book will come up. Okay, so I'm going to go to, now from here you can go give me the next record after this, the next record after this, and the next record. So at the bottom of the screen, it's the navigation. So that's how you will go to the next record from wherever you are. You could have been at the very first record on the screen, and on the very first record of the screen, that is next record, next record, next record, next record. Or you can go to the very last record that was ever cataloged, the most current record, and you can go backwards. You can go previous record, previous record, previous record, previous record. Okay, so that's the navigation buttons. If you had this particular record on there and you wanted to do a copy catalog, now why would you do that? Let's say that you've got this book and it's a hardcover, but the author is correct, the illustrator is correct, the subject's correct. So if you had a book on the screen, let me just bring up my very first record here. Okay, so there's my basic information, that's my authors, that's my illustrators, those are my subjects, that's my genres, and so forth and so on. But this book is a soft cover, and all of a sudden the publishers have decided to issue a new book, but they've made it a hardcover. Therefore, the ISBN number will be different. So you might want to duplicate the book, and that's what you do to duplicate the book. Okay. Now, when you're in here, you can go ahead and you can add subjects, you can add authors, you can add illustrators, you can add local subjects. I'll deal with all these points later. But once you've done whatever it is you need to do, only one save. You just click the one save button on the bottom, and that's all you need to do to click it. Okay. So cataloging a book, if I wanted to add a new record, I just go on to new. It gives me a blank screen, and you go ahead and type in whatever information you want about the book. And you only fill in the information that you want to fill in. You don't have to put in an author, and you have to put an illustrator, you have to put in a subject. You don't have to do anything. You just put in the bare basic information you want. And if you try to save the record and there were fields of information that was mandatory, it must have, like a media type, it'll say, oh, excuse me, you need to tell me what media this book is. And then you just go ahead, fix that particular issue, and then just save. You might have added 7 subjects, 2 authors, an illustrator, and put in some local subjects and what have you in there. Go ahead. Okay, so we're not going to force you that you have to do certain bits of information in a particular order. When you type in new, blank screen, and off you go. If you wanted to delete an item, okay, if I want to delete a book, that's the delete title. And have you noticed we don't call it delete anymore, we call it delete title, because delete title is a lot different to delete an individual barcode. So if you want to delete that title, you click in there, you put yes in capital letters, and then you just go confirm yes, and then that catalog record plus all the author, subject, series, and all the copies will go away with it. Okay, so that's how that would work. So you've got new item, you've got find an item, save a record, duplicate a title, delete a title, and navigate. Now, what we've done in this particular version, and this is our first version, version 3, you might say, yes, I don't want the basic information on the screen, and then author. I would like the basic information, and then I would like to put in the subjects. After the subjects, I'd like to put in the illustrator, then the author, and then the copies. And after the copies, I want to put in the notes. Or you can say, no, I want the basic information, then I want the additional title, then I want the author, then I want... So basically, what we're trying to say is that in a nutshell, you can alter this entire section here. You can move them around into the order that you would prefer to catalog in. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. I don't want the basic information in author. I want the basic information, additional title. Then I want the copy information, okay, which at the moment is way down here. I want the copy. Then I want the author. So if you want to change that and change it any which way you want, very simple, very easy. All you need to do is click on that little cog. When you click on that cog, every little tag now has a little hand to say move me. So I go, all right, I want to move the copies. So I click on the copies, drag it to wherever I want to go. Okay. And then I'll go, I want additional title next. So I really want additional title before the copies. Okay, so I've got basic, additional title, then the copy. No, I don't want the copy. I want the copy after the author. Okay, and then the illustrator should actually be after the author before the copies. Okay, so you can change whatever you like, and then there's the save button. And when you click save, it's saved in that format for everybody. Okay, now since we've released this version, people love it. But they go, but Michael, we have 3 catalogers in our department. We're a fairly big library, and Justine catalogs totally different to Joe, who catalogs totally different to Esther. And they would all like to have their own layout. Well, in version 3, once you change it, it applies to everybody. But there is an upgrade coming up. And later on in the year, when you take on that upgrade, when you click the save, that save will be tied to the logged in user. But at the moment, that's the flexibility we've given you. Change whatever you like, and it's global for everybody. Okay? Now, if you don't like this look and feel, you can say, oh, I just got used to using the top down. I used to love this in eLibrary, but I'd prefer the top down. So all you do is you just click on the top down button on the right hand side, and now you've got your detail top down. So if you want to go top down, you can go top down. Okay? But the general consensus and feedback we're getting from everyone, they love it this way. They love the fact that they don't have to go scrolling from screen to screen to screen. It's all on the one screen, and they can just specifically go to wherever they want to go. Okay. One of the new things you're going to find out is that in the new system, we've got genre. So anything that you now catalog from Schist will automatically bring in the genre if Schist has already got it. So we'll start populating that. We've had a number of sites that said, we started putting the genre into local subject, or we started putting it into sublocation or something like that. So if you've already genreified your collection, you need to talk to us and tell us where you've put that genre information, and we can extract it and automatically put it into the genre tab on your collection. So you don't have to manually go and do things. We will do it. But that only applies for historical stuff prior to today, okay, or prior to when you upgrade. But in future, when you Schist catalog, the genre field will go there, okay? Now, one of the other big changes is, let me grab this particular ISBN number, okay? You can grab any ISBN number, but let's go off to another book, okay? And so here we are. We're in a totally different book. I'm working on this book, and all of a sudden, I now have a book I want to catalog. I don't want to Schist catalog it because I'm not sure if Schist even has it. I don't want to do a global catalog and do it that way because there's too many buttons or whatever. It's only one book anyway. So all you do is you just go new, okay? You can put the title in. You don't have to. You can just go in and zap in your ISBN number. So just zap in the ISBN number, and that's a beautiful little button up there. When you click on it, watch what happens. It will automatically go to Schist. If it exists on Schist, it brings the record down. Okay, there you go. The record's down there. There's the author, there's the illustrator, there's the subjects. So it's already in there. Okay, and you go ahead and just put in the copy information. So that's a new addition to the cataloging screen. All right. Now, what's changed is the layout and the look and feel, and we're getting very positive feedbacks and people loving this particular layout. But what else has changed? The copies. So just as the layout of the catalog screen has changed quite substantially, the copies has also changed quite substantially. Let me go to my very first record in the collection. I'm not going to save those changes, so go exit out. So that's my first 100 people. When I go and look at the copy screen, this is what the copy screen now looks like. Okay, it looks like it's almost the same as it was before, but that's where you're wrong. What you can do here is, if you're looking at a specific copy, you can go, I want to expand that particular holdings record. So all you do is you click on just a little down arrow against the individual barcode, and you'll get a whole bunch of information about that one individual copy. Okay, and so you can go in and put in the supplier and the exception date and the cost center, whatever, and then you can just go up here and take it back there again. Now, what I wanted to show you something specific about this. If this was a bunch of iPads, we now have integrated into the system the asset register. So that particular individual barcode has an individual asset register to go with it, and you can fill in all your asset information about that one item. Okay, and then we can give you a whole bunch of reports based on that. But reports is another issue, and it's another YouTube live session that we're going to do later. So now with every individual barcode, you have an asset register. Now this is quite a complex record because we've got, over a dozen copies. Let me see if I can bring up another record that just has, here we go. So this has just one copy, okay? Now let's pretend that this particular record was really not a book. It is the giant photocopier that's sitting in the library that every teacher and every student comes in and uses. And of course, it gets a lot of abuse. So you're constantly calling the maintenance guy to come in and fix different things. So you can click on that barcode. You can go in and put in the asset register and all the information about it, except next time the maintenance guy comes in and says, all right, Justine, here's the invoice for the work I've just done on this machine. It's 2,700. And you go, my goodness, that's a lot of money. What did you do? And he said, oh, well, don't worry about it, Justine, because it hasn't been serviced for a year. I've replaced the drum. I've replaced the toner. I've replaced the lamp. The glass on top was scratched. I tried to clean it. I couldn't clean that, so I've replaced that as well. That's why it's $2,700. And by the way, it's under guarantee for the next 12 months, so you don't have an issue. So all you do is you go into the maintenance register and put in all that information. Okay? Now, when you put that information in, and 2 weeks later or 2 months later or 9 months later, when you've forgotten all about this, the globe goes or the glass is scratched, which was supposed to be scratch resistant, and you have to call him back and he gives you another $700 invoice or another $1,000 invoice. You can call up the maintenance register and have a look, and in the description you would have put there that Jonathan, the maintenance guy, said that it's $2,700 because all the work and all the parts and all the equipment is covered for 12 months regardless of how it breaks. So you can put all of that in here. You can call it up and say, thanks, Jonathan, for fixing it, but we're not paying anything because according to the maintenance register, this is what you told us last time. So you've got that facility to do that there, okay, against the individual barcode record. So that's one of the big advantages with the new V3 cataloging system as well, okay. One of the other things with the barcodes as well, okay, you can actually mark an item as lost by clicking it on lost, and it does all the normal things that the lost item does, okay, and flags it as lost, puts the information into the lost record, handles the circulation, handles the OPAC. That'll come up with 0 as 1 as available, okay. So that's the way the system would run. Now, basic information, author, illustrator, all of that's changed. Let's say, for argument's sake, that this was a laptop or it was an iPad. Now, with the laptop or an iPad, you're never going to have an image of the book here because there really never is an image. So you've got a laptop, or let's say it's a camera and you've cataloged this, and you'll say, it'd be nice if I had a photo of the item here, or let's say it's the photocopier in the corridor. It'll be nice to have a photograph of that photocopier in the corridor with part of the corridor, the room number next to it or whatever. Take a nice photograph. So if you do that and you're running this as an example on your iPad, as an example, you bring this record up on your iPad, why not take a photograph on your iPad of that item? Once you've taken the photograph of the item, you go, I'd like to upload it to this catalog record. All you do is you just click on upload, and it'll bring up your My Documents area. Go to wherever your My Documents are, and then click on the item and go open. Click on the photograph and go open. As soon as you do that, it will upload it and automatically tie it to this catalog record. Okay, so you could scan the image and then just go upload, and you can scan it into that area as well. So now adding information into the catalog record is also very easy. Okay. One of the other aspects is if I'm looking at the reports and I want to have a look at the loan history of this book or the overdue copies of this book or the reservation, so any of these items over here. So if I go loan history, that's my icon. If I click that, that will run the loan history for that particular item. Okay, but we're not going to run that because we don't have any loans for that item. So you can do all of that work all through the normal cataloging screen. Okay, and everything we've talked about is all based on original cataloging, not Schist cataloging. The remaining time that we've got is about 10 minutes. is about Schist cataloging. And Schist cataloging is very, very powerful on version 3. Okay? To get to Schist cataloging, all you do is you click on your hamburger menu, come down to catalog, and you go to global catalog. Okay? Now, for those of you who don't know why we've called it global catalog, I'll just get out of here. It says you made some changes to the record. You want to leave it because I haven't saved it. I go, yeah, leave the record. Just go and bring me up what I want. So it's brought up the Schist catalog. Now, the reason why we call it global catalog, because in SmartSuite, you can import data through the cataloging module, not just from Schist. You might want to get it from Library of Congress. You might want to get it from the Council Library collection. You might want to get it from the University of XYZ collection. You might want to get it from the National Canberra Library. So you can import bibliographic data from any subscription system, whether it's free or it's paid. Obviously, if you have to pay for the subscription, like Schist, say for argument's sake, the National Library said, yep, we can give you Z3950 bibliographic data, but it's going to cost you $1,000 a year. And if you want to pay for that, well, they'll give you a username, password, and we can walk you through on how to setting it up. And then from now on, you'll get data from Schist as well as from the National Library. Okay, you can say, no, I'm not paying for any of this other stuff. If Library of Congress is free, why don't I just suck data from there as well? So we can set you up to import from Schist and Library of Congress. Okay, so the reason why it's called global, because we don't just do it from Schist. It's not a Schist cataloger, but it does Schist cataloging. We get data from any Z3950 resource. Now let's pretend that I have got 100 books that I need to catalog. If you want to catalog with Schist cataloging, what you do is you go to your menu, you go to your catalog, and you click on global catalog. This is the screen that will come up, and all you do here is you enter your ISBN number and then zap in the barcode. Then you enter the next ISBN number, and you enter the next barcode, and the next ISBN number, and the next barcode, and so forth and so on. And when you do that, what the system will do in the background, it'll automatically go there, bring the record down, and catalog it. Now, if it does not exist on Schist, you're going to get a red block like that. And you don't have to wait. You can go ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode, ISBN barcode. So if you've got 100 records, as fast as you can zap them in, that's how fast the system in the background will bring them down, integrate it, update it, allocate it, build the authority. It'll do everything in the background. Okay, now this is a legitimate ISBN number, and this is my barcode that I'm going to give this book. If it exists on Schist, it will, or Library of Congress, or wherever you're getting data from, it'll automatically bring it in, and it'll be green. Okay, and that's how you know you've got. So if you've got, happen to have 2 copies of it, okay, just enter that in. And if you've got 3 copies of it, then just enter that in. And if you've got 4 copies of it, just enter that in, and then go ahead and then put in the next ISBN number and then the next barcode, and that's what you do. And that's how simple it is to do global cataloging or Schist cataloging. Now, I deliberately used the phrase of 100 books. Now, if you've got 100 books, my recommendation would be to group the books into groupings according to your collection. As an example, you might say the first 30 books are fiction, the next 20 books are non-fiction, the next 7 books are teacher's reference, the next 4 books are big books. So if you put them in those groupings, then what you do is you fill out the information over here and then just do your first 30 books, and it will inherit these parameters. Then when you go on to the next group of 10 teacher references, you change it to whatever the new settings are, and then you do them. Then you come to picture books, then you do that, and you do that, and you go, and that's how you catalog your books. Now, someone said, well, that's all very well and good, but if I want to put in the supplier or the cost center for each book or the cost or the replacement cost of each book. How do I do that? Well, you can do it the long-winded way by clicking on the title afterwards, going into the catalog record and putting all the information and checking it all in, then exit, not out of the browser, you exit out of the screen, that tab. Exit out of the tab brings you back here, go and bring up the next record. Fix it all up, exit out of there, okay? You can do it that way, or you can just say, you know what? I'm going to catalog this particular book and it costs me $12. My replacement cost is $24 and my supplier is Mike's Backyard Books. And it says Mike's Backyard Book doesn't exist as a supplier. Yes, but go ahead and create it. Now Mike's Backyard Books in there, the cost is at this, and now I'll just zap in the one ISBN number and barcode for that one book. Then it's another book, so I'll go ahead and put in a different supplier, different cost. So you still, whether you do it by clicking here and putting in the supplier, the cost and replacement, or you do it here, okay, less keystrokes to do it here, much faster, much quicker. Do one book, finished. Do the next book, finished. So it's still much faster to do it here. So that's the reason why we put it over here. And when you Schist cataloging, that inherits everything. Okay. So let's say I've gone ahead, I've done it all, and it's the end. I need to print out my spine labels. Well, what you need to do is you need to just click that print button, and it will print out the spine labels in the order that you catalog them. And not only that, what it will also do at the bottom of the screen of that print option, it'll say how many blank labels do you want me to leave, because you might be reusing a spine label sheet and you've already used 18 spine labels. So just say leave 18 and it'll start printing from the 19th. Okay, so all you do is you press print and the spine labels will automatically come out. All right, and then there it is. How many blanks do I leave? I want you to leave 23 blanks, and then you just go generate and off you go, and then you can just go print. Okay, however, you cannot, the very first time you go in, just go ahead and go print spine labels because you've done 100 books. Okay, before you use global cataloging, what we want you to do is we want you to let me exit out of here, and this is what you should be doing. Okay, before you use global cataloging, the very first time, very important, where it says configuration, click on that little up arrow, go into the default spine label and tell the system what the default spine label is. So if you're running this particular spine label as a default, you need to put it in, you need to click save. Then you need to exit out of the system and come back into global catalog. And from now on, you only do it once, but from now on, the system knows what your spine label format is, and it will start allocating and building the spine labels based on that. But if you turn on and say, we've gone in here, we've gone into default spine labels, and the labels I use is not in that list. Well, there's every chance the label you use, we already have a label format for it. So you need to contact help desk and tell us what label you're using so we can put it in there for you. Okay, but you can't use spine labels if you haven't got it in that list and it's not saved, so that every time you go in here, it's automatically in there. So that's how easy it is to do Schist cataloging. Okay, I hope you enjoy version 3. We're very proud of it. We're very happy with it. And it just seems to run, and everyone that has used it has said it's amazing. Okay, and we hope that you'll join us in our next live session where we'll be doing things like the circulation module, the patron module, the reports module. We've got heaps and heaps of sessions coming up. Tell us the kind of live session that you would like, and we're more than happy to organize a session for you. Thank you, and I will be signing out.